Hello and welcome to the Downtown Kentucky podcast. I'm Austin/Parfait.
And I'm Chris.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. Just throw off the cadence.
Sometimes known as other things. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like to bring in an element of chaos every
I
once
see
in a
how
while.
it is. Just gonna mess up everything.
Yeah.
You know what that you know what that felt like to me, Chris? Like a
What
slap
did
in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful transition.
That was
Totally planned.
I mean, it wasn't, and I also definitely wouldn't
No.
have transitioned into our top story that quickly. 40 seconds into the podcast, I would have, done a little preamble to hope people got here. But hey, let's do it. Let's do the thing that everyone on the internet feels the need to do. Let's share our opinion, our takes.
On something that isn't our business at all.
Well, it isn't, but also it is because they chose to do it publicly
Televise it.
on television. Hello, Weeagoogie.
Hello.
But yeah, Chris Rock, a little backstory in case somehow you live under a rock and don't know this story. At the Oscars, Chris Rock said it was a somewhat tasteless joke that, we don't know his intention. Maybe it wasn't meant to be as tasteless as it came across. He might not have known about Jada Pinkett Smith's alopecia. But he made a joke about her haircut, reference her being cast in
G.I. Jane?
Yeah, G.I. Jane 2.
2? Yeah.
Which, if he knew about her alopecia, is kind of a jerk move to do. But also, just because she's publicly said it in an interview doesn't mean he's listened to every interview that Jada Pinkett Smith's done, because not everyone does.
I haven't listened to any of her interviews.
Yeah. And you can also look at it as, he said she looked like, very attractive actress Demi Moore with a shaved head. I mean, I don't know if maybe, my personal take is the joke wasn't even that bad, but let's say the joke was meant to be mean and evil. What Will Smith did next, still probably wasn't the appropriate reaction.
Yeah. So, after, Chris Rock made that joke, Will Smith promptly gave a hearty belly laugh.
Yeah.
And then
we
don't really know what happens in between then. But then Will Smith walks up on the stage and absolutely smacks the daylights out of Chris Rock from out of nowhere. And I would like to say that Chris Rock ate that slap like a champion.
He did.
And just kept on rolling.
Yeah. And that's not the way to go about things. I mean, I'm gonna take the hard stance. The internet, for somehow, I genuinely don't understand, is somehow divided on this situation, on whose side was right here. Which, first off, I want to say neither side was right, because the joke was in poor taste, whether it was intentional or not. It was bad. It was a bad joke to do. But also, I guess once again, that's what the Oscars are, though. That's what the presenter's job is to do like a little mini roast. He is not the first person to poke fun at someone in the audience. That's literally what the comedians are brought in to do.
Right.
So there's that. But let's say Will Smith thought he completely crossed the line. He should have, went up to him after the show and said, "Hey, you need to apologize to my wife."
Yeah.
Or even yelled something from where he was. Or during his speech, when he, by the way, wins an Oscar, which just makes this moment even more surreal. He wins Best Actor Oscar later in the evening. So it's one or two awards later. So it's not that long, and now he's up on stage accepting an Oscar for Best Actor, because apparently it was I forgot the name of the movie. It's the movie about
he was playing
he's Venus and Serena Williams.
King Richard.
Yeah, they're father, right?
Richard Williams,
Yeah. And it's the movie about him. Weeagoogie has pointed out that the joke apparently was not done in the rehearsal, so maybe he went off the cuff, but still, it doesn't justify.
No.
Because it's just such a dangerous precedent that you don't like this joke someone said, so you can assault them. And, I'm not going to stand here, not stand here, but I'm not going to sit here and, on this podcast act like Judd Apatow did with his tweet saying that, he could have killed him.
Yeah. I mean, it was a slap, and I think for the most part, it was, was it called for? I don't think so.
No.
But was it like as insane as some people are making out to be?
No.
Not really, but it does, like Austin was saying, set a really bad precedent. I think for especially like I mean, comedians. A part of their job is to roast people, and even if like a joke is
comedy is
taste,
supposed to hit the edge, like, and sometimes it goes too far, and maybe this time it did. I'm not gonna say that I think it didn't. If Will Smith felt like it went too far, it went too far because it wasn't about me.
Even then, like the joke was about Jada, and I know that's his wife, and you know, he's some part of him feels like he has to defend her honor, but like at the end of the day, that is between Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith. Like,
then there's also the fact that, like, once again, like, it's just the joke. Knowing everything about Jada and how she has alopecia and how that joke literally could have actually really hurt her feelings, and like alopecia a lot of times does like end up causing depression to people who have it due to it.
A lot of emotional damage.
It doesn't change the fact that he did. We don't know if he even knew. So it wasn't like he was like, look at you, your ugly bald head. No, he said you look like one of the most attractive women in Hollywood when she had her head shaved. Dang, what a zinger. I don't know. I feel like it was just all so blown out of proportion, and I hate that we're even, having to cover this. Really, is because this shouldn't have happened. That's really what it comes down to. Is it should not have happened.
No, yeah. So my sister sent me a text, and I do already know about the apology that Will Smith issued.
He did.
On Twitter or not Twitter, Instagram.
And I think Chris Rock has finally made a statement. There was a statement that was going around as his apology that was faked for some reason, because it's the internet, so people decided to fake an apology for him just because. But I believe he did make some sort of statement. I couldn't actually, there was an article about it, but I couldn't find his actual statement in the article, so I don't know. Maybe he hasn't responded yet. But it's a thing where this situation would have been so much different if Will Smith took one of 7 other routes he could have taken.
Oh,
we're getting
we got a take from somebody in chat.
Yes. Weagooby says that chat, I absolutely do not think Will Smith should have resorted to violence on live television. However, and now we wait.
And we are.
Which I do think, I want to say, I do believe that is what we've both said, is that he shouldn't have done it. And that Chris Rock was in the wrong.
Standing up for a wife and her honor should always be something a husband should pursue. Yeah, and I think that's also...
And, he could have said something,
totally
in his speech later, or even just yelled something for, like he did in what was ended up being cut, but he yelled to keep her name out of his mouth. With some expletives added in. If he just yelled that, no one would have questioned it. If he would have... There's, 7 different ways he could have went about this, where the story today, or not even today, we wouldn't be talking about it today if it was one of these scenarios. It would have been the next day, on Monday. It would have been, man, Chris Rock shouldn't have made that joke. And that would have been... But instead, Will Smith took it upon himself to go and assault the man. I mean, yes, it was a slap, and slaps are relatively the safest way to assault someone, I guess. But it is still assault. And I don't know, it's... I agree that, a husband should, defend his wife's honor, but defending her honor would be saying, hey, bro, you crossed the line, apologize to her, not slapping him on national television.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to, for me, the most is that, they're both grown adults, and, Will Smith should know how to handle situations like these, especially as someone who was basically a comedian at one point and is a comedic actor. He definitely should have talked to Chris Rock privately, and then after they resolved that, Chris Rock could have issued an apology. Would have been a lot more professional, but yeah, that's my feelings on the matter.
Yeah, I feel like I've shared my thoughts on it, and it is what it is. But you know what?
Unfortunate that it happened.
I wish
seems like it's been resolved.
I wish we weren't talking about the Oscars today because let's be honest, I don't care about the Oscars, but because it's like everyone, the Oscars have which I'm not the only person because the Oscars up until like this week, the ratings were like down so drastically,
completely irrelevant.
Like
for
the
most part.
Oscars had like I want to say the ratings went from like in 2014 it was at like 50 million people tuned in, and it had steadily dropped till 2020 when it got down to like 23 million. Then last year it was 9 million. Like the Oscars were so dwindling, but I guess we will go over.
So was the slapstick?
Maybe, there is that knows? Take that's
we
quite
can't
possible,
say that.
And we'll never know. I don't think so though.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like it seemed like the reactions of everyone involved have been pretty like genuine. Yeah. I don't think it was faked, but I don't think that's just my opinion.
It's just
so. Anyways,
the best
now
picture Oscar went to Coda.
What became is Coda?
It's I believe it's a coming of age movie where the whole like pretty much 90% of the movie is in American Sign Language because the character is like deaf. So and it won the Oscar. It was the first streaming service movie to ever win Best Picture. So that's a fun fact about it.
Neat. I had never heard of that movie ever.
Someone, a director I've never heard of named Jane Campion, was the best director for the movie The Power of the Dog, which is also a movie I've never heard of. And Will Smith,
I've heard of The Power of the Dog.
Okay, I haven't.
But the movie on Netflix,
maybe. And Will Smith was the best actor for his role as King Richard.
And it's a really solid defense for those people who think it was fake. And so Best Actress was won by Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
And that's where we'll probably stop because then no one cares after that really in the Oscars.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you know what also happened, because you know what happens every time the Oscars happen?
Nobody cares about the Oscars in general.
Yeah, that's fair.
Except for this.
Oh, that's not fair. I feel like people look up and say, who won the Oscars last night, when they find out the Oscars was last night, and they go, oh, okay, and then they move on with their lives. Which is what we're good at now. Because we're going to talk about the better awards that happen. That's right. The Razzies, baby! Woo! Razzies! Which, if you don't know what the Razzies are like the reverse Oscars. They give awards to the worst movies.
Awful movies.
Yeah. Where the worst picture was Diana the Musical, which I didn't know existed. But apparently it's a Netflix musical about... Princess Di.
It's what everyone has been asking for. A musical of Princess Di.
Yeah. The worst actor was LeBron James for Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Well deserved.
The worst actress was Gianna DeWall for Diana the Musical.
That's fair.
We'll skip over worst supporting actors. Worst screen couple is a great one for this one, which was LeBron James and any Warner cartoon character or Time Warner product he dribbles on in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh, that's awesome.
The worst remake, ripoff, or sequel was obviously Space Jam: A New Legacy. The worst director...
Like we got some real power players this year in the Razzies.
The worst director, worst screenplay... all went to
Diana the
Musical. I want to look up what won the award for... We actually referenced a Razzie that was going to be the first time ever this year, which was the worst performance by... I'm blanking on his name. Bruce Willis in a movie this year, because he's in so many bad movies every year. He was in 8 movies this year that were nominated for this.
That's insane.
Yeah. Bruce Willis, Razzie.
Yeah.
2022.
They rescind their Bruce Willis award.
What? Oh, that's fair.
Oh.
They decided not to do that because of his, he was diagnosed with aphasia and retired from acting. So you know what?
Oh, wow.
Fair. We will not discuss that award because it didn't happen. There was one other thing. I want to know what won that fan award for the Oscars. Fan award Oscar. Remember, because we've talked about that, how there was it was being taken over by the internet. You don't remember that?
I briefly.
Yeah, and the Zack Snyder Bros did it. They got Army of the Dead to win the Oscar because they couldn't nominate his Justice League because it was made in 2017.
Army of the Dead, was that crappy zombie movie on Netflix?
Yeah, it was just the only Zack Snyder movie that was eligible, so they made that win because they couldn't have the movie they wanted.
Wow, that's crazy. The people like Zack Snyder.
They're the Zack Snyder people, the people who wouldn't stop tweeting "Release the Snyder Cut." Those people have a voice and they want to be heard. That award definitely should have went to Spider-Man, but it didn't. Yeah. That award was literally made by the Oscars so they could acknowledge Spider-Man because they knew it wasn't an Oscar-style movie, even though it was like the biggest movie of last year. Yeah, and they wanted it to get something. Besides, like, the tech awards, I'm sure it did win. I'm sure it got, like, best special effects, because those movies always end up doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie. That should, in my opinion, that was the movie of the year. Best actor of the year would go to, I guess, Tom Holland, because he was the star. Andrew Garfield, best supporting actor. That's it. That's all I care about. Those are the only awards I want to give.
Yeah, when he cried when he caught MJ. Yeah. I also teared up a little bit.
Also, I think the other scene that made me... Charlie and I were doing a mini review of Spider-Man real quick. This other scene that made me cry was when he was telling the story about his MJ on, like, the top of the building where they were all, like, talking about how he didn't have his anymore. Like, that...
Oh, yeah. I was crying for basically the entire, like, past 10 minutes during that scene.
Pretty much when Andrew Garfield was there, I was crying, just because he's Andrew Garfield.
Scene with, what's his... Aunt May, all the way up until that scene, I was just like,
yeah, that was a great movie. That movie should have won Oscars. Tom Holland should have won the best Oscar because then we wouldn't have had to have Will Smith awkwardly go up there after he slapped Chris Rock. It would have been just better, but he wasn't even nominated. That movie wasn't nominated for pretty much any award because the Oscars are snooty, and that's just the way it always has been and always will be.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, it should be. That's what the
Thanks,
Oscars are for.
Oscar.
That's what the Oscars...
Thanks, Oscar.
No, that's not... Nope.
Way to go, Oscar. You suck.
All right, let's talk about our first weird news story, which isn't actually... Okay. Let's talk about our second weird news story of the week, because let's be honest, I don't think anyone had Will Smith assaulting a man for a rude joke on national television on their bingo card for the year, but it did happen, so...
It did.
If you did have that on your bingo card, wow, like, surprising.
Good on you.
Like, I don't know why you thought that was going to happen.
Hopefully you got bingo.
Yeah. But you know what else happened this year? In Miami, a thief broke into a shoe store, and he stole 20 of the display shoes and ran off with it. Which, if you don't know about display shoes, they're always the left shoe, which means he didn't actually get anything that he could, use or resell. Because he was stupid, and he didn't realize he was only stealing left shoes.
Well, if he came to our store, he would have a whole bunch of right shoes to wear. I mean, undoubtedly, they would not be anywhere close to matches of any of the love shoes that he stole. But he would have at least a complete pair of something.
Well, that's not how this shoe store worked, because he just stole 20 left shoes, which did, severely, hurt the store, but did not help himself at all. He's not going to be able to resell these at all. But
that's 20 shoes they're going to have to just send back to the warehouse.
And I think it was one of those places where hundreds, this is thousands of dollars worth of damage because it was expensive shoes.
Fancy formal wear shoes.
No, I think more like expensive sneaker culture shoes.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that story. It's not much for that story. I just thought it was... I like to make fun of stupid criminals on this when we get those stupid criminal stories.
Hey, there's nothing better than making fun of stupid criminals.
Yeah.
Because,
stupid criminals like Will Smith. Because he committed assault. But he's not actually
technically assault him.
But he's not... But Chris Rock didn't press charges, so he's not a criminal. So I take that back. Alleged criminal. If you say alleged after anything, you're fine.
Yeah.
It absolves you of all guilt. Will Smith only allegedly slapped Chris Rock.
No, he definitely did.
Oh yeah, because it was on live. Now as the kids say these days, he was caught in 4K.
Caught live 4K.
Yeah,
maybe 5K in some cases.
Probably. I don't think 5 is 5K really a thing. Isn't like don't they just go to like 6K or 8K typically? I think it goes in twos.
Couldn't tell you.
But let's move on to our next story, which is just it's a fun story. There was a Brazilian singer whose name is Viviana Pereira. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Pereira? Sure, Pereira, maybe. Well, the point is, she's a singer. She's a Brazilian singer, so I don't know who she is. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But she was taken to the hospital, and Chris, can you guess why? You can, because you're reading it. But make a funny joke about a different guess of why she'd go to the hospital.
Well, she's Brazilian.
I don't like where you're going with this, so I'm going to cut you off before you make any sort of joke there. That's right.
I don't
she was arrested. She's not arrested. She was taken to the She was
arrested to the hospital.
She was taken to the hospital for holding in farts in front of her boyfriend. You know,
she could have sold those on the internet. That's crazy.
It's the classic, you know, probably new couple where they don't want to fart in front of each other, and for some reason, unlike most humans, where they like go like sneak off to the bathroom or something to fart, she decided to just hold them in entirely, to the point where she got sick and had to get taken to the hospital because of it.
I mean, her willpower is impressive, honestly.
You know, it's fair.
More than anything else, good on her.
I agree.
Mean, you shouldn't hold in your farts, but like the fact that she could manage to hold in her farts until she was medically sick from it, that's impressive.
You know what? Maybe it was just a stress.
I would have been squeaking them out.
Maybe it was a real quick, you know, like stress ulcer. You know, she's got real stressed, real quick about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna blow up if I don't fart. Oh, an ulcer.
Take me to the hospital. Why? I have to fart. What?
Wow. I hope this guy was like a model. Otherwise, not worth it.
I'll be honest, I only read a headline. I didn't read much further
or
into
really,
it.
really rich. One of the two.
Yeah. But also, like, who cares? Just fart. It's natural. It's human. Just be human. If he doesn't accept your farts, this is a message to all ladies out there who might see this podcast someday. If a man won't accept you for your nasty, stinky farts, get a different guy. Because there's guys out there who will pay you for those. So,
find you a man who will pay for your stinky farts.
Yeah. Or just at least accept you for being human.
Austin,
one of the two.
2022.
Yeah.
What?
Thing is, you know how many times there's stories about the girls who were selling their farts? Like, twice. But still, there's happened like twice where I go, we're not going to cover that story. But now we're just going to joke about it in a different story.
Yeah. We're not going to give them, you know, the light of day. We're going to praise a woman who...
I'm not praising her. No, I don't praise her. I condemn her for not being the woman she should have been and just farting.
Oh, I'm not going to condemn her.
I will.
And you know, I am going to give her, you know, helpful life advice. Don't be afraid to fart in front of other people.
No.
Everyone does it.
Be ashamed of yourself for not being courageous enough to fart in front of
Courageous enough.
Let's move on to our next story.
Just so impressed.
I believe I have an article for us to like glance at occasionally for this one. It's also long, so I probably won't.
An article?
Yeah,
a long article?
Yeah, I don't care. I'll just give you.
Hold on. Am I seeing this correctly? Is this a long article about a flamingo?
Yeah, that's right. Back in 2005, a flamingo escaped from the Kansas Zoo.
Right.
Or a zoo in Kansas. Well, not the Kansas Zoo. I doubt the state has a zoo. That's weird.
Just one singular. Yeah. Well, it is Kansas. There's not much going on there.
Oh, there's Kansas City. And then there's Kansas City, Missouri. That's like basically Kansas, right? But yeah, so Kansas, there's a zoo. There's a flamingo. He escapes. And, you know, he's been trekking the world. Recently, he was spotted in our home state of Texas.
Brazil? Oh.
Yes, he was the Brazilian singer's boyfriend that she would not fart in front of.
I mean, flamingos are beautiful creatures.
You know, they are pretty. But he has been going all over the world. He's recently been in Texas, which is not that close to Kansas, and he's, I believe, been spotted all the way north up to Wisconsin. Like, this flamingo is just, he went, hey, the zoo life's not for me. I'm going to be a world traveler. He's living his flamingo life, and I respect him. And there's really not much about the story. I mean, there might be because there's a giant article on New York Times. So if you want to know more details, go look for it. But I wasn't going to read a giant article about a flamingo.
And I can respect that about you. I wouldn't either.
But if you want to know more details about this crazy flamingo that I believe the New York Times referred to as deserving its own like Pixar movie, which it does seem.
I'm sure somebody will make one about it. Yeah, I mean, they'll make a Pixar. Well, yeah, I was gonna say they'll make a movie about anything, but I don't know if Pixar would.
They're too busy. I was gonna try to make some sort of joke about like turning red, but I actually think I haven't seen it, but I support it. There's some people.
I've seen a little bit of it, and it's charming. It's a little bit much for me, but
it's fair. To be fair, I would argue it's not for you.
Yeah, and that's totally fair. Yeah. It is definitely a children's cartoon movie.
Well, also it's like specifically like for like young girls, from my understanding about the plot. Like which is cool that they're normalizing, menstruation. Maybe we don't make it a dirty word.
Gross.
I know, I'm crazy. Hold in your menstruation.
Hold in your period.
And your farts.
You
can get a boyfriend?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just become a robot. It's that simple.
Sure, why not? Robots? We're gonna play robots again?
No.
No, we finished our robots series.
Thank
if you only listen to our podcast, hey, check out our YouTube. We have a whole series on robots, the video game, and it's a game.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I kind of enjoy it. By the end.
It certainly is not the case anymore.
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
Speaking of the end, we're coming up on it, which means it's time for...
Movie Club.
No.
Oh, we canceled that.
No, that's its own thing that we do on YouTube.
You're thinking Movie Club commentaries, which is its own video. Movie Club was a segment on this podcast.
You're right. Plug.
Yeah.
Just to
Please watch Movie Club commentaries. We put in not that much work, but we do watch a movie every week, and no one watches the commentary.
It does take at least an hour and a half out of our life almost every week.
And they're pretty good.
Anyway.
That's that plug. Cheap plug. Also, check out Horror Boys. It, I think, is genuinely the best content we make, period, and most people don't know it exists. Please go watch Horror Boys. You like horror movies, you might like us talking about them. That's the tagline. That's like the big selling point, like the back of the box. If you like horror movies, you might enjoy this. I hope if we ever make a horror movie, which I want to maybe, I want that to be one of the reviews.
Yeah.
If you like horror movies, you might enjoy this. Not you will. Not like a strong, you're going to love this. Just, you might like it, I guess. If you like them, I guess you might like this. But today...
You will is a little bit strong.
Yeah. But you know what? Today, we're not talking about any of that stuff. We are talking about our only segment that's left. That's right. It is the champion of all segments.
That's right.
It is the Tournament of Champions.
Champions.
Of course. And if you don't know what Tournament of Champions is, Chris, give them a one-paragraph description in full detail of what it is.
Well, if I was to say hypothetically that the Tournament of Champions is a segment where we pit a whole bunch of characters from all sorts of different universes and fictional worlds against each other in a completely random seeded tournament. So anyone could be facing anyone, all the way from Thanos to Rocky Balboa.
That's the tagline. You did it backwards, but I respect it. It's fine. I'll let it slide. But today we are doing our 8th episode of Season 2. That's right.
Whoa.
So let's head right into it. Let's find out who our bracket is today. On our West Coast bracket in our first matchup, we have Judge Dredd from Judge Dredd. Dredd. He was also in a movie just called Dredd. As well as he will be taking on Gamora from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Then we have Nemesis from Resident Evil, I believe, 2?
Oh,
Might be 3. Might be 3. But he's one of the villains in one of the Resident Evil games.
Pretty sure it's 2. 2 is the one with Joe Valentine.
Okay, so Resident Evil 2, and he is taking on Vlad from Danny
Phantom.
Castlevania?
Oh.
fair guess.
Okay.
And then we also have Mr. on the East Coast heading over there now. We have Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh.
Oh. Sorry, he's next week.
Okay.
No, just kidding. He's not in this tournament at all.
That makes sense.
But Mr. Fantastic, he's taking on Jessica Jones from Marvel's The Defenders, right? That's what people care about her from? Everyone, you guys watch Marvel's Defenders, right? Right? Oh, no? Oh, crap. Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she's a cool character. And she's going to take on Mr. Fantastic. But then we also have Sasuke from Naruto.
That guy.
And Chris, don't get too excited, because he's taking on Aang from Avatar, The Last Airbender.
You know, if he was somewhere else in this bracket, he'd be going probably to face Aang in the final.
Maybe. We'll never know.
He's not.
So let's go into our first battle, which is Judge Dredd. Let me close that ad so I can read his powers and abilities. Judge Dredd, his powers include peak human strength, speed, agility, and durability. He is an expert in all forms of combat. He is an expert marksman. Probably because of his bionic eyes, they give him 20/20 vision, which isn't even that good, actually.
And more importantly,
a reduced
blink rate.
He also has a bunch of equipment, which we might bring up if we feel like it's... Oh, wait. What are his weaknesses? He can only kill those who are guilty of a crime. Well, good for him. He's taking on Gamora, who has
murdered thousands of people.
Yeah.
Right?
And her powers are a lot of crap, and it's one of those really annoying ones to read.
Superhuman strength, superhuman agility, whatever.
Enhanced durability, superhuman agility, enhanced stamina, enhanced reflexes, a regenerative healing factor due to her bio-augmentations, such as nanomachines, within her bloodstream, allowing her to easily get back into fighting shape after being exposed to deep space without any protection.
Wow.
She's also a master combatant, which includes sword mastery, and she's also an expert marksman.
Oh, Meme Lord has showed up, and he says Lord. Dredd is greater than everything.
I mean, I do love Judge Dredd, and especially the not...
Sylvester Stallone?
No.
Oh, the not Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd?
The movie called Dredd. Starring... I don't remember his name.
Guy.
Yeah,
starring
and she's also a pilot. And she can speak a couple languages, because that's useful in this fight to the death. So
Judge Dredd might not speak English.
Honestly, I mean, it's not as... Not
a dead blowout.
I really do... Carl Urban, thank you, Meme Lord. I sadly, as much as I want to put Judge Dredd through...
He doesn't have a regeneration factor.
I think it's her nanobots that pushes her over the edge. Because other than that, they're pretty much the same people. Like in all their other skills, they're like they're better than other. Except, I guess she's also got superhuman in agility, while he only has peak human agility.
Yeah. Darn it all.
I really wanted to at least take this to the coin, but she's also superhumanly strong, and he's not.
Yeah, she's got a Xenoberry. Which definitely not how you pronounce that.
Yeah, she is a
Zehoberry.
Zehoberei, sure. Which makes her naturally possess physical capabilities beyond any human being.
Cool.
Which were further augmented by Thanos. Sadly, Meme Lord, I'm with you.
Cybernetic enhancements.
Sadly, as Meme Lord has wanted, Judge Dredd, he thinks he's better, and I agree. Judge Dredd is a cooler character. Sadly,
absolutely.
This is not what we're discussing. We're talking about who would actually win in a fight to the death. And I think Gamora, sadly, not that she's a bad character, just that I like Judge Dredd more, does sadly take out Judge Dredd in round 1. Very sad. I wish she could have at least made it to a semifinals. Dredd killed Thanos. When did Dredd kill Thanos?
Is Dredd a Marvel character?
If that's true, if Dredd can kill Thanos at some point, I will change my answer.
Dredd is a Marvel character? Huh?
I'm not seeing anything actually about this. No, he's just stronger, but he's actually not. He's just non-canon. Okay. He's just a human though. So sadly, Judge Dredd does lose. You almost got me there, Meme Lord. I almost just went, oh, okay, cool, he goes through. But sadly, I'm a man of integrity. Gosh darn it.
And we will do our 5 seconds of research to find out the truth.
I will do a quick Google search to see.
Nothing more than that.
Absolutely not. Unless it's a character I personally know about, which there's not a lot of. But let's move on to our next fight.
Ask me about an anime character, I can tell you.
Let's move on to our next fight, which is Will Smith versus Nemesis versus Vlad.
There you go.
Nemesis possesses superhuman strength, superhuman speed, superhuman durability, tentacle generation, a regenerative healing factor, which also includes regenerative mutations. He's a skilled combatant, and he has near human intelligence.
Yeah, he's kind of dumb.
Yeah. Weaknesses, uncontrolled mutations. That's it.
Yeah. So Vlad is a ghost.
That is true.
And he does have that.
He has human ghost physiology. He can go ghost.
Intangibility and invisibility.
And invisible. Standard ghost powers.
He can fly.
He can fly. Standard ghost power.
He can possess people.
Which is a standard ghost power.
Yeah.
He's also got some superhuman strength of his own. And superhuman durability. And a healing factor. Superhuman stamina. Superhuman endurance. Superhuman agility. Supernatural reflexes. Teleportations. Spectral body manipulation. Duplication.
Yeah.
Ecto energy, ghost ray, energy strikes, ecto energy constructions, ghost shield, energy absorption, power augmentation,
yeah.
Ghost stinger. I don't even care. Who cares? Ghost tornado and ecto twister. Vacuum resistance. It can't be vacuumed, guys. It's very important.
Yeah, he can't be sucked into the thermo, the thermos.
Paranormal immunity.
Benton thermos. There it is.
And that was just his powers. He also has abilities. He is very insanely rich. And he's also a genius level intellect. He's a master strategist, experienced combatant. And now here's the thing. On paper, you might go, well, yeah, he still probably wins. But you know why he definitely wins? Because just a...
What is Nemesis going to do to hit him?
Not even that. Just Nemesis was taken out by just a normal human.
There's that.
Like, he's obviously not that impenetrable.
You say normal human. She was a trained, special military unit.
I mean, that's still a she didn't have any special
normal abilities?
Yes. Of any sort.
No. But he is dumb as a brick.
Yeah.
And she was
Vlad
not
is a genius who was a master at strategizing and could turn himself into multiple of him to trick Nemesis. It's really not even close.
It's not a competition.
It's Vlad wins, handedly.
Hands down?
Yeah. So yeah, let's move on.
To
Mr.
character
Fantastic.
I know pretty much
Mr. Fantastic.
all I need to know about him. He's stretchy.
He's plasticky.
And he's pretty strong.
He's plasticity. Sorry.
Oh, actually, no, he's not that strong at all, is he?
He's got dense flesh, which can contain explosions, redirect projectiles. He can elongate, which includes the ability to grapple and move with that elongation. He can change his shape with a lot of different forms of changing the shape.
Yeah. So he is a rubber man.
Yeah.
And he possesses normal human strength.
Yeah.
So let's go on to Jessica Jones.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Whose powers I know nothing about.
Well, she's superhuman strong, superhuman durability, accelerated healing factor, superhuman longevity, flight. I didn't even remember that one. She does have some telepathic resistance. She's a private investigator. She's a trained combatant. Her physical strength, Jessica's uppermost strength is unknown, but she was able to lift a 2-ton police car with ease. Okay. She does have PTSD, and she's an alcoholic, though. Just throw it out there. She is a flawed character. But also, I feel like he's also dealt with like some weaknesses like that throughout the comics history. But, also, what's this one?
Honestly, I don't know how this plays out, to be honest.
I think the simple answer is he can't hurt her at all.
Yeah. I don't know if there's... But he can, like, restrain her.
Yeah.
But then she has superhuman longevity, so I think she would be able to out-sustain him, even if she was, like, just restrained for a long period of time.
I feel like it's a situation where she could do more damage to him, just because he's not... He has powers, but he's also one of those characters that really never does anything on his own, and that's probably for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's valid.
And, like, don't get me wrong. Once again, kind of like a Judge Dredd situation. I do think Mr. Fantastic is actually I don't know, actually, Jessica Jones is pretty dope. But yeah, we're giving it to Jessica Jones, mostly because of her power of alcoholism. Oh, wait, sorry, that was a weakness.
Mr. Fantastic dog walks Jessica.
I mean...
Wow.
We will agree to disagree, and we're the one with the podcast. So, I mean, you could also make your own podcast, which I encourage.
He is a genius. That is true.
And she's not stupid, though. Like,
I mean, she's not.
She's a private investigator, which means, she's solved some cases. She can, and like, don't get me wrong, a genius is. I don't see how a genius is gonna help him be able to hurt her when his powers don't give him that.
The only situation I can see, and I don't know if it's even possible, would be like, is if he used his finger to like stretch into her, like, up through her nose and into her brain and just like skewer her brain with his fingers.
Yes,
that's about the only thing I can figure. But then she's got an accelerated healing factor that I don't really know anything about.
She's also very durable. She takes a lot of like hits throughout the show. I've only watched the show. I don't read I've never read any of her comics, but I did watch a lot of her show, and just like she's very, like, tough. Like I already wrote Jessica Jones' name down, and I stand by it.
That's fair.
So we're moving on to our last first round fight of the night. We have Sasuke, who he has a lot of abilities and powers that are written in a really annoying way. So Chris, tell me about him, because I don't want to read this.
Sasuke is the main rival to Naruto in the titular anime Naruto. He is incredibly powerful because he rivals a guy who has a literal demon sealed inside his body. And these demons were the ones known to basically rule and torment the earth.
Fun.
So the fact that of his own merit he can like compete with that. He's also got like I wouldn't say cursed bloodline, but he's a part of a bloodline called the Uchiha, and they have basically special eyes that allow them to activate the Sharingan.
I have a quick question, actually, Chris.
Which has a multitude of effects.
I don't want to cut you off or anything, but does Sasuke have blood?
Right. Yes.
Oh,
yes,
then he's dead because Aang can bloodbend because he's the Avatar.
Right.
And Aang also has the power of all the other elements as well, but he also, most importantly, in a fight to the death, he can... Aang probably wouldn't, but he could.
He has never bloodbend before, but he could.
Me more saying there's no confirmation that he can, but I would argue that because he's the Avatar and has there ever... Oh, here's a quick question. Has there ever been an Avatar...
True. It would have to be a full moon event.
Full move.
That is
I
true.
don't see... obviously I don't know a lot about Sasuke, but I still feel like there's no way an Avatar loses pretty much any battle in this. But hey, Chris, you know more. I will let it go to you.
I don't know, it might be kind of fun if we, after a little bit of debate. Okay, let me see exactly what his Sharingan. Oh, he gets Mangekyo Sharingan? He gets the Rinnegan? Oh, this is spoilers. Spoilers, I haven't finished Naruto. Yeah. Oh, good. He was being healed with Hashirama cells. A Rinnegan in his left eye. Okay. Oh, geez, there's so much. There's so much. Oh, good. Yeah, space-time ninjutsu. When with it, he can perceive distortions in the flow of time, able to see events that happen as normal, although it is unknown if he can negate the effects on himself. Allows him to instantly swap places with any two targets in a specific range. In adulthood, his space-time ninjutsu became advanced enough to travel through dimensions, even with others. Huh. These interdimensional portals manifest as dark oval-shaped spirals upon Boruto. Uzumaki's stabbing it while being controlled by Sasuke's. Oh, wow. He's got a lot of abilities, honestly. He does have the ability to lock people in eternal illusions, where they just die over and over again with the Mangekyo Sharingan. I don't know. He does have a lot of really busted abilities. Also, he has like chakra, which they don't really account for in Avatar. So it's a completely like different functioning power level. It's oof.
You know what, Chris? I think I know what we have to do.
Are we going to the coin?
We're going to the coin, gosh darn it.
Sick.
And if you don't like it, that's fair. I actually respect that entirely.
That's totally fair.
But I personally feel like Aang is unbeatable, personally, in this fight. And but it does look like there might be a very good argument for Sasuke, so we will take it to pure chance, as all things should be. Chris, as always, you representing Sasuke. What is he getting? Is he heads or tails?
I think Sasuke being the basic ultimate antagonist of the Naruto series, I think he should be tails.
But doesn't he have that whole thing with his eye? Shouldn't he be heads?
I mean, sure.
All right, but you said tails.
He does have the special eyes. Oh, well, there you go. You're welcome, chat. You're welcome.
This is totally taking me out of all this. I know nothing about this character, and now he's gonna win, and I'm not gonna care about the rest of this discussion because I don't know anything about him.
Honestly, I feel like one of the people in the currently in the ring might be a mad form.
Okay, well, we'll find out.
And we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Let's go on to our first semifinal of the day because we do still have to finish relatively soon, so we can start our next video. That's right. If you're watching this on Twitch, we will be having a second video right after this.
Right. Please show up for our next video. I'm very excited about it.
All right, Chris is going to play a video game, and he's excited. And I'm hoping that it's disappointing because he is so overly excited. I think it would be hilarious.
I'm so excited to play this game again.
So, but today we have to get through this first. So Gamora takes on Vlad.
And Vlad overshadows Gamora's body and makes her kill herself. Do you have any oppositions to how Gamora would withstand this?
No, not her. There are people who maybe could have, but not her.
Yeah.
There's actually someone in this tournament right now who's still eligible who I think could easily not do that due to one of their powers. But that's not Gamora.
Yeah.
So,
and that's just one of his powers.
Yeah,
the overshadowing thing.
Vlad wins.
Vlad, the evil ghost man?
Yeah, Vlad's super evil ghost man.
He makes an excellent villain.
No one's going to be mad, though, that Gamora lost, because it's Gamora. Why Gamora is really the real question.
So now on to Jessica Jones.
I closed Jessica Jones' thing.
Oops. Versus Sasuke.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I'm not really sure what Jessica Jones would be able to do against Sasuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she can fly. That's pretty cool. Flies away. Outlast him. How long does Sasuke live? Is he eternal?
I don't know if he's eternal, but he is the reincarnation of, like, the son of a god. So maybe. It just gets reincarnated.
Does he have the power of alcoholism?
No, he doesn't. And but PTSD. He can summon giant snakes.
but Jessica Jones could solve the case on how he did that.
Summon giant snakes. He can run on walls.
Does he have telepathy? Can you try to get into her head?
No, but he can basically teleport.
Because if he tried, she'd stop him because she's got telepathic resistance. That's her one thing.
He can also create shadow clones. And
yeah, no, he wins. I mean, he sounds really OP. I didn't realize how OP he was.
Yeah, a lot of ninjas are pretty OP.
Apparently.
Susanoo, yeah, solos her by itself. Yeah, probably. Yeah, he can summon like a giant chakra.
I don't know who Susanoo is, and he's not one of the 2 names I knew from Naruto, so he's not in this tournament.
That's fair.
It's Naruto and Sasuke are the only 2 who were eligible. Because the only ones I even had any idea who they were. I had heard the name Sasuke.
Fair. Fair.
But yeah. So now it's Vlad versus Sasuke, and I honestly don't know much about either character. I didn't watch Danny Phantom that much.
I finished Danny Phantom,
okay.
And I loved it. I clearly didn't love the Naruto as much. No, that's not true. I did love Naruto a lot for a long time until it never stopped. It literally finished a few years ago, and I started watching it when I was 12. So
that's fair.
You know,
like
it's just a little bit too long of a dedication for me. You're right. I do not have the willpower to finish 10 years worth of anime. Yeah. So anyways, we've got a an almost immortal ghost man who is intangible and also has the power to shoot energy beams and multiply himself, versus guy who's, yeah, I think Sasuke still might beat Vlad.
I know nothing.
Based on the fact that I think his chakra still blasts Vlad.
His words mean nothing to me. What does that mean?
So, chakra is basically like a spiritual energy.
Okay.
And being the fact that, Vlad is a spirit.
Fair.
I think Sasuke is still able to hit him. And based on the scale of his power,
how does the chakra work or whatever? Like, how does it work? Does it go out in one line, or is it just emits from him everywhere?
The chakra is within his body, so you've got a flow of chakra. It's like blood, basically.
Okay.
But it's not. And so everyone has a limited pool of chakra. That being said, Sasuke and Naruto's pool of chakra is almost limitless.
What if Vlad duplicated himself like 1,000 times? Would he then run out of it before he killed the last?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
That was my only chance.
No.
Weegooby says it's like when Dragon Ball Z characters power up. Like, I've watched Dragon Ball Z. I wasn't allowed to watch anime as a child. My closest thing to anime was Avatar. And that was later. And I still never finished it.
As much as I don't like Sasuke,
well, he's moving on.
He is really, really powerful.
I cannot wait for him to be... I don't know. I don't remember who's in this season's. He might not. He might just win. And that's
he is able to travel through dimensions, but I think we've got people who can deal with that.
Hopefully.
I don't know about people in this
hate
season.
Sasuke, just because I know nothing about him, so it's really hard. When he went up against Aang, I was like, oh, Aang's like so OP, and we're going to be fine here. I won't have to worry about not knowing this character.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Shows that I should have done some research, which I did not, and that's on me. But that's just the way it is. This has been a podcast where we've talked about a lot of things, and a lot of them have had to do with fighting.
True.
Weird episode, I guess, but not really. But this has been the end of the Untitled Chapter podcast. If you are on Twitch, though, please stay. We will be back in like maybe 5 minutes with another video. We're going to be doing a throwback gameplay in. Chris, would you like to do the honors?
I will be playing Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie.
That's right. So we'll be right back with that. So yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.